the best programs right now have things like this. They're called sound spelling cards. And so what I was talking about earlier about there's 44 phonemes in the English language, and those phonemes are mapped to spelling. So a sound spelling card, this is one of 44 cards that this particular program would have you put up in your classroom. And then down here it has the ways that sound is spelled. So this is the I sound, and it's really only spelled with I. If you have another one, like, let me see if I can find a good example here. Here, I was talking about this one earlier. If you have the sound, can be spelled three different ways. It can be with C, blank CK, or K. And so basically that's the starting point is the routine should be grounded in the representation of the phonemes and the graphemes, how they're spelled. So then an example of what a routine would look like, the routines are basically designed to mimic how the brain should work. So let's talk about spelling for a moment. A non-example is giving a spelling list on Monday, having the kids memorize it, take it home, and doing a spelling test on Friday. That does not teach spelling. Spelling is a cognitive process that is related to phonics and word knowledge around, etymology, et cetera. And so if I give you the word, I don't know, give me a complicated 3 or 4 syllable word, something medical or scientific or something.
Okay. Phonograph.
Phonograph. Okay. So if this is the first time you've heard the word phonograph and I were to ask you to spell it, here's what your brain would do. Your brain would break it down first into syllables, if you're a good speller. It would break it down into syllables. Then it would work on analyzing each syllable to figure out the sounds in the sequence of that syllable. And then and it all happens lightning fast. Then you'd quickly match a spelling to each sound. And your mind would kind of do a catalog of like, okay, is that an F or a PH, right? So the way that looks like in an instructional routine is this. You'd say, kids, phonograph. Phonograph is a type of device that plays music that's on a little record type shaped a piece of equipment, right? And phonograph, that the word is phonograph. Kids, what's the word? They say phonograph. Okay. Now I'd like you to count the syllables in phonograph. And so we all count them together. Ready? Phone, o, graph. How many syllables are there, kids? There's 3 syllables. Okay, what's the first syllable? Phone. Okay, how many sounds are in phone? O, n. 3. Okay, what's the first sound? Okay, class, now we're looking at our sound spelling cards. What option for the sound is probably going to go with that word? And so, if you need to, you can think about, have I ever seen the word before? Does it sound like anything? Are there any clues in there that I know? And, like by the time I'm doing phonograph, I'm either upper elementary or high school or something, right?
Maybe it wasn't the best word to choose.
No, it's a great one because it causes adults to think about it, right? Because adults need to figure this stuff out. And so, like, I would have to say, oh, it's got graph in it, so it's got a Greek background, and by this time I know that pH is what I use when I have Greek words. So I pick pH. And then I do that through all the sounds, like O for the O, N for the N, etc. And then I move on to the next syllable, I repeat, third syllable, I repeat, etc. So what we're doing is we're using a routine that makes visible what the good speller does in milliseconds, right?
I love that. I love that. And now, Steve, to bring it back to say an earlier grade, you
Sure.
remember you showed the sight card or the sound card, sight or sound card.
I usually call them sound spelling cards because they represent both together.
All right, so pull out the card, if you don't mind, with the picture with the camera on it for that k sound.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at the words below or the sounds below, and I see the CK making that k sound, one
Yeah,
word I could think of is click. A camera
right,
goes click.
right.
So how would you, as a teacher, and what grade would that be? Second, third, maybe?
No, that is actually a child should know how to do click by the end of first grade.
All right. So how would a teacher go about teaching the k sound using words like click?
Yeah. So most of these sound spelling cards in the programs that are designed well, some of them are not designed well, but most of these are designed in order of most frequently used. So your best guess is the first one, your best second guess is the second one, and so forth. So in the word click, by the time in your sequence that you would get to that word, kids would know the beginning sound, the initial sound is going to be best represented by the letter C because it's at the beginning of a single syllable word. And they're going to know that the end is going to be best represented by CK because it's got the short it sound in the vowel position, right?
Hmm.
They'll know, they should know enough from the way that the program has taught these choices that they should be able to rule out the ones that are not needed in that word.